What's up, y'all? Shaman Shank back at you with another one. And today we're going to jump right back in the buck pond. I know it's been a while. I've been having some, other Emersons come in, that I've been wanting to review, and I've kind of put the bucks on the back burner, but not today, baby. We're bringing it back and we're coming in hot. And I've had this bad boy for a minute. I just haven't reviewed it, but I was like, damn, I need to break out that beast and, give it its proper due. So without further ado, I give to you the Buck 120 Pro and S35VN. Look at that beautiful, beautiful baby there. And of course, this is coming in at 7.3 inches in the blade, an absolute sword of a knife. And you have the nickel pommel and guard, and you have a nice tasty serving of green canvas micarta handle right there. That, and it feels great in hand, guys. Feels absolutely beautiful. If you've held a Buck 120 before, you've definitely held this knife. It is a sight to behold. And if you're wanting this knife, you're definitely going to have to get on the second market, because Buck did kick the bucket on the S35VN, just like they did the D2 Heritage, and I'll get more into that later on in the video. But yeah, this knife has been, well, I don't want to say discontinued. They said for this model, they put it in the vault, whatever that means. So it may come back again someday, a limited release or something like that, but it's not for purchase right now on the website. And they did say they put it in the vault, but the D2 Heritage with the Cocobolo handle, which I've done a review in the past on, that knife has been discontinued. But you still can get the exact same knife that's called the Heritage, Buck's acting like it's brand new when it's been on there for years, in a 420HC model for the same price they were charging for the D2. Don't get me started. Please don't get me started, guys. Okay, back to the mission here. Back to the mission, baby. We have got the Buck 120 Pro and S35VN. And let me tell you something. I've had my eye on this knife for a good while when it was up on the website. And when they decided to kick the bucket on this knife or put it in the vault, they dropped the price on this thing substantially. This thing was coming in at $215 out the gate on the Buck website. And I guess whenever they wanted to discontinue it, they said, okay, we got to get out this old inventory and, whatever we're going to do next. And they dropped that price down from $215 down to $135. I was like, yeah, give me that, baby. And I did. Your boy did. Yeah, and I'm very happy with it. It is a beautiful knife. And like I said, it's a 120, but it's in that, a great offering of that S35VN, which is a great still from my experience. It's S30V and S35VN. I mean, they're both great stills. I mean, but this is definitely a substantial, to me, upgrade from 420HC on paper and in the field. I mean, from some of the knives I've used with S35VN. So it's a great knife, great tool, and with this being, a clip point, you really want that thing to be sturdy out there. You don't want to break that tip off. And like I said, 420HC is great stuff, but it's always good to get a knife like this and kind of a stronger, still more, corrosion resistant, being out there in the elements. But beautiful, beautiful knife. And I've got to break out something to compare it to. And there's only one other knife that I can think of. Excuse me, guys. Let me log out of here real quick. Sorry. And there's only one other knife I can compare it to. And of course, that's another Buck 120. So I'm so sorry, guys. Hang on one second. Let me log out of here real quick. There we go. All done. Sorry. The other knife that I have to break out here is, of course, a 120. But it's the discontinued Cocobolo, which is, like I said before, I've done a review on this knife by itself. Definitely go check it out. Two beautiful knives. I mean, it's a 120, guys. There really isn't that much, difference here, except, of course, the Cocobolo handles. This has the green canvas micarta. You both, you got the nickel pommel and guard. And, of course, you've got this in D2. But then again, you can get this exact same looking knife, except this D2 is now going to be in 420HC, which, as I made mention earlier in this video about 4 minutes ago, it kind of don't make any sense to me, guys, because they act like Buck is acting like the Heritage Edition is brand new and they made a big deal about it, like at the Blade Show and dropping. I'm like, guys, the Heritage Edition has been there. Do you check your website? But I guess I don't know. What do I know? But yeah, you can get this knife in 420HC, just not the D2, which is, I consider, definitely an upgrade. it is what it is. But beautiful knife, beautiful offering. That wood feels great in hand, the Coco Bolo, and I'm sure the 420HC would hold up great on this knife as well. But of course, you know, the S35VN is considerably an upgrade from the D2. And guys, I mean, really, to be honest with you, that's about it. I just had to show you this, you know, break it out. I haven't broke it out in a while, and it feels great in the hand, great weight. You know, and like I said, you know, I really do believe, like in the 119, the 120, the material and the handle that you choose will affect the weight. I mean, I do have a 119 with the phenolic, and I can definitely tell a difference in my wood-handled 119s when it comes down to it. And these knives, you know, they're for what they look like and their size, they're very light. I mean, I don't see an issue with, you know, carrying these in the field or anything like that, but wonderful knives. And there's one other thing I want to bring up on here. You know, it has nothing to do with the blade steel or anything. Really, it's really more aesthetic. But, and I don't even know if you guys can really see it from here, but this kind of griped me a little bit. This was the first buck 120 that I bought ever. And as you see, that clip point right there is absolutely vicious, guys. Absolutely vicious. You got a nice, leading up to a nice tip right there, good upswept point. But let me break in this bad boy real quick. Please tell me y'all see the difference in that. Please tell me. This one looks a bit more like going upward than outward. And like I said, it's no big deal at all to me, but I really kind of prefer this right here. And I really don't understand why there's that kind of variation in the blade. I mean, there's nothing to gripe about. They're both phenomenal, but I do prefer the style, the minor difference in this blade when compared to that blade. It looks a bit more blunted, if you ask me, instead of just tippity tap top. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm trying to think of what else I can say, because I mean, it's a buck 120. If you're watching this video, you're probably definitely familiar with it, and you know, it's not that hard to brush up on, guys. This knife has been around for a hot minute. You know, maybe not this version itself, but I mean, the model has been around since like the 60s, early 70s. You know, it's been around and it's been getting it in. It is an absolute gem to have out in the field, or of course, just in your collection to break out and just stare at sometimes and say, damn, that looks pretty. But yeah, it's an awesome knife. And again, like I said, this knife is discontinued. I mean, I have seen some on the second market, like at Amazon, eBay. I'm sure you can definitely pick one up for a good price on there. And when I got this bad boy for $135, which is the price of pretty much this knife, I had to do it, especially with that upgrade in the still. And of course, you can get the Coco Bolo Cholo Heritage Edition, brand spanking new on the Buck website, even though it's been there for years. You know, hey, it's the Heritage Edition, guys. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, you're going to get it in the 420HC. So you're pretty much going to get the basic 120, but you're getting, of course, an upgraded handle with that Coco Bolo, and of course the standard nickel pommel and guard. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. I don't mean to be like, I'm not trying to be a biatch about it, but I'm just like, you know, come on, man, that's a little weird. But I know in some of my past videos, I've kind of given Buck hell about some other things, but I still love them. I'll still buy them and I'll still use them. But yeah, guys, the Buck 120 Pro in S35VN. Rest in peace, brother. Well, you know, rest in that vault, because, you know, they made us break this bad boy out one day. But you don't have to wait around. You can get on eBay or Amazon right now and get this for yourself. Great offering, great knife, beautiful all the way to the bank. And of course, I had to get me a little custom, you know, sheath for it right there. Make sure I don't stab myself through the hand. There we go. Yeah, I got this off eBay. I forgot the guy's name, but it was like 40 bucks, I think. And it's a great, nice little tan sheath. But guys, that pretty much wraps it up. I know this is like a shorter video of mine, but I had to break it out, had to show it to you. It is absolutely gorgeous. The Buck 120 Pro and S35VN, and of course, just to give it props, the Buck pretty much 120 Pro in D2, which is definitely RIP from what Buck said. So I'm glad to have one. I'll probably keep this in the safe and not use it. I'd use that S35VN before I broke this one out, because I don't know, I'm not really familiar with D2, and I know when I reviewed this knife back in the day, I said I need to get it out there, and I just never got around to it. I've just been always grab a 119 for some reason when I want a fixed blade, because it's just the right size for me. But man, the 120 is amazing. I do love that extra length and blade, but it's like a freaking sword, guys. If you held one, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, but guys, that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed. And you know, summer's kicking into high gear, baby, starting to heat up out there. So get out there, get a little